Hi everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm broadcasting to you live from rainy Budapest, capital city of Hungary here in Central Europe. I hope everybody is doing great. I hope you had a good weekend and a great start to your week. Hi Arun Narwal, hi Saurav Sharma, hi ENG Ahmed Hamed. Good to see so many students joining in. All right, today we are looking at IELTS speaking part 3. And of course, today's the 21st, and our materials are coming from our websites for academic IELTS. Check us out at aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com. And for general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com, where you can find lots and lots of great materials. Hi, Seema. Good to see a member joining in nice and early as well. All right. If you're looking to download our app, you can do that. Go to your Play Store or your iTunes Store. Look for our logo. Look for Academic IELTS Help. We're working on the general version. All right, something a little bit special for everyone today. Many of you probably know this. Some of you maybe don't, but the biggest international sales weekend is happening on Friday. It's called Black Friday, where all businesses give great deals on their products. So we're going to follow in suit and do the same. So our Black Friday special is a 40% discount from our premium courses. You can use the coupon code BLKFDAY on our website, and you can get a 40% discount. But of course, this is a limited time coupon for this week for Black Friday. So if you go to the website, you click on that Join Now button, you'll get to our payment form here at the bottom. I'll make it a little bit darker so you can see what's going on. And then you click this button, which I will enlarge for you here, this use coupon code button, and then you enter the coupon code there, BLKF Day, and if you enter that and you hit continue, it will apply that 40% coupon, and you'll be able to get our course for 40% less. Same thing with general IELTS. If you're studying for general IELTS, go to this page with the green background. Same idea. Click again that coupon code area and then type it in. All right. I just made it dark so that you can see that page because it's bright. The white is bright on the screen, but I'll make it bright again. No worries. All right. So let's get back to the lesson. So again, our Black Friday discount, 40%. BLKF Day on our websites. Limited time, ends on Sunday, so you have to use that fairly soon. Okay, if you have questions about IELTS or our products, email me, adrian@aehelp.com. Our live streaming schedule is according to Central European time, so type in CET into Google. You can see the time zone difference. Today, speaking part 3. Tomorrow, reading strategy. On Friday, writing task 2. And then on Saturday, we have a members chat only class. Everybody's welcome to watch. And then we're doing video shoots for the rest of the week. Let's get into our lesson. Speaking section of IELTS. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so speaking in IELTS, it's roughly 10 to 12 minutes in length. It can seem much longer because for many students it's very stressful. For some students who are confident and you're prepared, maybe it will seem even shorter. Regardless, it's about 10 to 12 minutes. You will sit face to face with a IELTS examiner who is, of course, fluent in English. They may have a British accent. They could also have an American or Canadian or other accent as well. They will ask you questions in 3 parts. Part 1 will be some easier questions, and then Part 2 will be a cue card, and Part 3 will be some follow-up questions, some more difficult questions on the topic of Part 2. So we'll focus on those today. But just to warm up everybody, hi Baljit, good to see another member in here. Let's do a couple of icebreakers. So first question they will ask you when you sit down for the speaking interview is, what is your full name? And they will match your full name with your passport and your IELTS application. So what is a good answer to this? What is your full name? I know many of our viewers now realize that that's an important question and you need a good answer for what is your full name, because you want to show fluency and a high level of English right away. Somebody asked me just in the last couple days, what if I speak like I'm speaking to my friend? Oh, my name is John Smith. Is that good? No, that's not good, even if it sounds good, because it's difficult to assess English if you're not giving enough information. All right. So Bibas Thapa says, my name is Bibas Thapa. You can call me Bibas. Yeah, that's great. Or you can say something like, my surname is Smith. And my given name is John. Please just refer to me as John. Okay. So surname is your family name. Your given name is your first name. And then you can say what you want the examiner to call you. They might ask you, what should I call you? So you can just jump that question and say, please refer to me as John. Now, this is a speaking class, of course. And so I want you to repeat, okay? Repeat questions, repeat the sentences, repeat the words that I say, okay? So my surname is Smith and my given name is John. Please refer to me as John, okay? Next question. Hallo? Gyere, all right. So, let's go to the next question. What do you usually do in the mornings? Okay, these are just some icebreaker questions for part 1. So, what do you usually do in the mornings? Think about how to answer that in a very nice way. Include an example, and I will come back and check that out in just 2 seconds. All right. So, meditation is just one word by Pranya. You need something a little bit longer than that. I usually like to do some exercise. It helps to keep me fit and active. That was a bit better. Make sure to include an example. For instance, this morning I did 2 hours of yoga and I feel great for this exam. That will push your score higher, okay? Shanu says, I usually love reading newspapers with a cup of tea every morning. For instance, I just read in the paper that my local football team won the championship, so I'm very happy about that. So Shanu, don't forget about that critical example, that real-life example for these these part 1, but also for the part 3 questions can really help, okay? Farhim, I start my day with prayer and exercise. okay? Baljeet, I missed yours this time. I'll get it next time, okay? These are just some icebreakers. Remember, our focus today will be on part 3. Now, don't forget to pay attention to the content or the context here. It's usually, right? So adverbs of manner, okay? So, well, 5 days a week. When I go to work, I get up around 7 a.m. and often start the morning with a cup of coffee and scrambled eggs. Then I stretch and after that, I drive to work. However, this morning was different because I came for this interview. Okay, so again, real life brings your listener into it, and it helps to give more fluency and more clarity for your answers. So repeat after me. Well, 5 days a week when I go to work, I get up around 7 a.m. and often start the morning with a cup of coffee and scrambled eggs. Then I stretch, and after that I drive to work. However, this morning was different because I came for this interview. All right, so notice again quantitative language, right? 5 days a week. Also some complex language. When I go to work, I get up around 7 a.m. So it's a condition. And I include that example. However, this morning was different because I came for this interview, okay? So make sure to give nice rounded answers to send your IELTS scores skyrocketing up to band 8, band 9, okay? And then they might ask you another question before they get into some kind of general topic, and what do you like to do on the weekend? So let's have a nice answer for this one, students. And what do you like to do on the weekend? Okay, give me some answers, and I'll start writing mine up there as well. Arun, we're going to talk about that in a minute. How can we extend our answers in part 3? Including examples is definitely one way. One good way. All right. Surya Baraki says, I like to spend my time with my friends and family. For instance, last week, I went to the city cinema and watched a comedy movie. I enjoyed it very much, or I enjoyed it a lot. That's good. Surya, very good. Nice, fluent, full answer with a solid example. I like it. Notice that a good answer when you're looking at each other's comments is roughly about 3 to 3.5 lines of text. Okay, that's a good way to think about it. Naveen says, well, my weekend routines are completely different from my weekdays. I just do nothing other than sleep and play cricket. Last weekend, I had a great game with my friends. Throw in that example, Naveen, okay? All right. Don't worry, Baljeet. I'll get you on the next one, all right? I see that you're in there. All right. Scrambled eggs, Muhammad, for the last answer is when you take the eggs and you mix them all up, and then you throw them in a frying pan and you fry them up by mixing them, and they end up kind of chunky and fluffy. Those are scrambled eggs, okay? So, and what do you like to do on the weekend? Well, on the weekends, I often, or I always, go for a run to start the day, and then hang out with friends or play video games. I just got into the new FIFA 2018 game. It's a competitive football game, and I'm having tons of fun with it. Okay, so a little bit of expression there. All right, tons of fun with it. Instead of saying lots of fun with it, tons, of course, is an expression because tons is used to measure weight. Tons of fun with it. Expressions like that will bump your score up as long as you use them naturally. If you do not use them naturally, do not use them because they will be awkward and your score will actually go down, okay? So be very careful with that, okay? All right. Parth says, well, in the weekend, my schedule is predefined. Last weekend, I spent my time with my family doing what, Parth? So include what you did, okay? One of our members just asked students, and I'll ask you the same, to please use English only in the chat. Otherwise, I will have to boot you because this is an English class. So just out of respect and out of the fact that we're learning English, use English, please. Thank you. Juan Pablo says, I often enjoy sleep a couple of hours more, but also I like to share moments with my friends, family, and girlfriend. For instance, this last Saturday, I went to watch a movie at the cinema with my girlfriend, and we met friends there, shared a dinner, and hung out with them. Very nice, Juan Pablo. Nice, long, fluent response with a good example. Well done. Okay, so let's get into speaking part 3. Before we tackle the speaking part 3 questions, let's talk a little bit about strategy. So one of the questions a student already asked is how can I stretch my answers? How can I stretch my answers for speaking part 3? Well, one way is always include examples. When possible, okay? So stretching answers, let's call this strategy, stretching answers. Okay, what's another way that we can stretch answers? So what's another way we can make our speech more fluent and stretch our answers in part 3? And I'm throwing the question out there because I know a lot of you students join these classes regularly and you should have learned several strategies now. Okay, so what is another strategy for part 3 that lets you effectively stretch your answers and also increase your band score? Very good, Mehran. So Mehran's got the right answer. That's the one I was looking for. Mehran Goreshi, sorry if I can't pronounce that right. He says, use the words in the question. So you'll see here, we'll get to this question later on. This is a conditional question. If a person wants to change careers, what is good advice to make this transition go smoothly? So instead of just saying, well, they should research the job that they're going to transition into, then use the question instead. So say, well, when a person has the desire to change their job, it's always a good idea. So use the full question in your answer. That will help to stretch it. It will also help to buy time to think of a better answer, and it will clearly show the examiner that you have the right grammar idea of the question. So use the full question, use the grammar and words of the question in your response. Okay. Now, here I want to give a warning too. So some students, they learn in their IELTS class that you can stretch your answer by saying there are several points which should be considered. Firstly, and then they start talking, okay, and then they get to secondly, and they don't have a secondly. They don't have a second idea, or they don't have a third idea, and they get stuck. They go, and secondly, what secondly? So that's bad, okay? Because if you get stuck thinking in mid-sentence, it's going to look bad on your fluency and on your ability. And the examiner doesn't know if you don't have an idea or you just don't have the words. So don't set yourself up for failure. If you try to answer part 3 by saying there are several reasons, firstly, make sure that you have at least a secondly before you say that. Otherwise, you'll get into a funny, awkward situation and be looking kind of like a deer caught in headlights of a car. Okay, so don't do that. Okay. All right. So stretching answers, include examples, use the grammar. That's the better approach. What else is good strategy for high bands for part 3, students? So what else can you do to get a high band score for part 3? What else do you need to pay attention to? So Hunji Yato team says, well, buy time. Okay. Another way to say that, Hunji, is think before you speak. Okay. Baljit says paraphrase the question. Yeah, those are great strategies. So paraphrase the question. I did that with the previous one. You probably saw that. The question. Okay. Use synonyms and other techniques to show a higher level of English. Absolutely. Okay, and Henji said, buy time. Now, buy time, the reason you're buying time is to think before you speak. Okay, so don't just start speaking without thinking. That's really bad. You can buy time with natural fillers. You can buy time by asking for it. That's a really interesting question. Can I please have a moment to think? It's okay to do that. Okay, it's absolutely okay to do that. So don't be shy if you need time, if it's a difficult question especially. It's normal to ask for it, okay? Don't just blank out and stare at the examiner, because then they think you didn't understand the question. They'll jump to the next question, okay? So just say, well, that's an unusual question. Please allow a moment to gather my thoughts. Okay, so those are different ways to buy time and think before you speak. All right, what else can I do? Let's see. Mohammed Wahab, one of our regular members, a fantastic part of our online classes. Hi, Mohammed, giving us some really good advice. Mohammed says, use correlative, coordinating, and subordinating conjunctions. So join your ideas. They make your language more fluent, more powerful, more natural. So use conjunctions. Absolutely. Okay. Correlative are the ones that you really need to pay attention to. Coordinating and subordinating. Okay, so all of those conjunctions, if this is new for you, you need to study that. Okay, you need to study your conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are paired conjunctions. Please repeat after me. Not only, but also. Okay, one more time. Not only, but also. Whether or. Neither nor. Either or. Both and. Both and. Both my brother and my sister play the piano. Okay? So these are your correlative conjunctions. Use them. They will send your score higher, especially because a lot of the other students don't use them. So when one of you uses those in the interview, the examiner is like, whoa, really? Did this student, international student, just use correlative conjunctions? Thank you. That's really nice English, okay? Coordinating conjunctions, you have to use them. Most of you do. These are the words such as and, nor, but, for, so, yet. Okay, of course you should use those. And subordinating conjunctions, that's your biggest family of words that join ideas together. Those include all kinds of words like however, therefore, on the other hand, consequently, if, when, since, while. Those are all belonging to the big group of subordinating conjunctions. You have to remember to use those, okay? All right, so students, good job. Those are strategies. If you practice, when you practice these strategies and use them, you Not just might, but you will. Guarantee you will improve your IELTS band score when you use these. So make sure you do. Again, stretch your answers by adding in examples. Use the grammar of the question and the full response. Paraphrase words from the question as much as you can. Buy time. Think before you speak. Use conjunctions, correlative, coordinating, and subordinating. Let's practice these together now. Okay? Harmeet, you can ask. So Harmeet says, can I ask the examiner to speak slower? You can, but they might not. Okay? They will speak to you naturally. Okay? Oh, Mohammed, nice. Congratulations. You use these skills and you got 7.5 in speaking. Wha-bam! There you go. Yeah, and when you use these, ladies and gents, and our students that watch regularly and our members that are doing this and using these skills, all of them come back into these live classes or send us emails saying, yeah, I did that and I got 7, 8, 8.5. Okay, so they work for sure. These are tested and true strategies. These are not made up. They're not theoretical. We test them. We go to the IELTS exam ourselves. We know they work. And of course, we know they work because simply it's just good communication. That's what gets you band scores. Good English with good communication. Okay, part 3. Let's get into it. Let's talk more about business. Some of you remember we did a part 2 cue card on a business idea. So this is the third part of that lesson. We're talking about business. Okay, so you gave the cue card back to the examiner. The examiner says, now let's talk about business. What is the advantage of owning a business instead of working for an employer? What are the negatives? Give me a nice response to this question. What are the advantages of owning a business instead of working for an employer? What are the negatives? I'm going to start writing. I won't say while I write. I don't want to confuse you. Write and say your own answer, and then I'll have a look at it, okay? All right, let's see what you put up there. All right, Samana says, actually owning one's own business makes one feel confident, working and not falter. There's a little bit of grammatical mistake in there. You might want to revise that. Amandeep says, owning a business has several benefits for an individual, such as they make decisions independently, not take, Amandeep, such as they make decisions independently and then continue. Okay, Ahmed Abdi says there are several advantages that, such as you will be leading your daily activities as you like. Also, you will have much space to innovate. Okay, Ahmed, that's okay. Just don't use you, okay? Say the person or the businessman or the owner, but don't say you. Don't address the listener directly, in this case, the examiner, okay? All right, let's see. Muhammadan says, well, it's a good question. When we work in our own company, self-employed, it would be much easier for us to handle our own time and work and handle plan by ourselves. Myself prefer not to work. Okay, the end of that was kind of weird. Good to see you in class, Jeffrey. Baljit, here's the question again. Just read it if you didn't catch that. Jeffrey says, I think some of the best parts of being self-employed are having a flexible schedule and avoiding disagreement between colleagues. That's great, Jeffrey. Throw an example in there and it'll make it excellent. Okay, ladies and gents, have a look at my answer here. So again, I'm incorporating those strategies that we just talked about. I paraphrased the word advantage for benefit. Instead of owning a business, I said having one's own company, okay? And then here, I said control over time and finances. And to come up with those answers, I thought about, well, what would 9 out of 10 people say to this question? And surely many would say, well, when you run your own business, you control money and you control time, unlike working for someone else. So, repeat after me nice and loud. There are several benefits to having one's own company, such as control over time and finances. My uncle has his own restaurant and he goes on vacations whenever he wants. However, there are some negatives, such as added stress and responsibility. I know my uncle is often tearing at his hair to make ends meet. Okay, so I'm teaching you some expressions, some idioms, but again, a word of caution, only use them if you are 1,000% sure that you're using them correctly. Otherwise, it's really weird, okay? Now, many of you that answered, be very careful with these double questions in part 3. So pay attention to the full question. What are the negatives? You have to answer this as well to get your task completion mark and to get full marks for the question. So don't forget that, okay? Don't forget that. So what are the negatives? You have to address that part of the question. Tearing at your hair meaning pulling your hair out like this. You're tearing at your hair, okay? You're ripping your hair out, okay? Make ends meet is the idiom, which means that you have enough money to pay for your expenses. Okay, so you have enough income to pay for your expenses or your outgoing money. All right, ladies and gents, doing good. All right, doing good so far. Advantage, Baljit, is a benefit. Okay, an advantage is a benefit. All right, I hope that's clear for you. Benefits are advantages. They're interchangeable. All right, so here we go. Next question. What kinds of businesses are popular these days and why? Okay. Answer that question for me. Do it on your own. I'm going to type, but I'm not going to speak because I don't want to confuse you. I want you to focus on your own answer and then we can compare after. Okay. So what kinds of businesses are popular these days and why? Okay? All right. Okay, let's see what you've put up there. Kun Com says, well, I'm not certain about it, but I reckon most people prefer, and then there was a little bit of an ending there. Let me go back to it. Prefer to start restaurants. Kun Kon, that's a good answer as well, okay? Do pay attention to that it's these days. Restaurants have been around for ages, so I don't know if it's the best answer for it. Jitesh Sharma says online businesses, service providers, the insurance sector, etc. Jitesh, that kind of answer will not really get you the best marks because you're jumping around to too many ideas. It's much better to choose one, focus on it, and go into depth. So go into detail. Instead of going into breadth, giving a lot of different ideas of business, go into just one and go into detail. Biba Estapa says, well, in my country, the weather is too cold, so coffee shops have become popular these days. Whenever I go to class in the morning, I usually drink a cup because it's so cold. After I drink it, I have more energy. Okay, Bibas, that's good. Just don't go off topic and start talking about coffee instead of the popular business these days. All right. Baljit says, well, that's an interesting question. There are about a dozen businesses. I'll catch your answer this time, Baljit. Don't worry. Dozen businesses that are common these days. Some of them are online retail business, restaurant and hotels, because both of these... Okay, Baljit, same advice. So you've identified a good one, online retail. Stick with it. Talk about it. Explain it. Give an example, and you'll get a much better mark than if you start talking about restaurants and hotels as well. Okay, so stick with it. All right. Mohammed Wahab says, well, due to the advancement of the internet, online retail businesses are increasingly getting popular these days. Amazon and eBay are real-life examples of such business in many countries. Beautiful example, Mohammed. Quick thinking on your feet. Amazon and eBay. Excellent. Well done. I like it. It really drive home your explanation. Okay, here's my answer, ladies and gents. Repeat after me. Again, this is a speaking class, so repeat the question and the answer. Okay. What kinds of businesses are popular these days and why? That's an interesting question. Allow me a moment to think, please. Buying time to think about that. As soon as I say that, in my head, I'm going, okay, 9 out of 10 people, 9 out of 10 people. Oh yeah, online business, online business, online business, okay? So, repeat. I suppose online businesses have become quite the fad these days because people not only enjoy the comfort of working from home, but also like the opportunity to sell to the entire world. My friend has an online education company, and he does quite well for himself. Here, I'm thinking about myself, but I'm using it as giving an example of my friend. That's kind of a little trick that you can use. Notice a couple of interesting points. I'm buying time. I'm paraphrasing with fad these days instead of popular. Instead of these days, I could say nowadays to paraphrase this as well. Notice my correlative conjunction. Not only enjoy the comfort of working from home, but also like the opportunity. So not only, but also. Notice how nice that sounds. It really bumps up that score. Okay, I'll read one more and we'll go to the next question. Gaeth Omari says, I think that the marketing of social media is the most famous job these days because it's... one way in which news is spread all around the world easily. And this is very effective for earning a lot of money. So many people choose online marketing companies. That's okay, Gaeth. You just have a lot of grammatical and word choice mistakes in there, so correct that. Okay? All right. And don't use the word thing. I see your second finish there. Okay. All right. Pachu says, sir, questions in part 3 are so long. How can I remember the question and understand it? Pachu, visualize, paraphrase, focus on the topic, on the controlling idea. Do these steps when you're at home, okay? I know that's a lot to think about, and it is a lot, but when you practice it, you'll get there, all right? Okay, here we go. Let's go to this next question. How have business practices changed compared to a generation before? Is this good or bad? Okay, so again, how have business practices changed compared to a generation before? Is this good or bad? All right, students, take some time, think about this question, think about your answer, think about the strategies, give me some good responses. I'll write at the same time. I'm not going to speak. I'll give you a chance to do your own thinking, and then we'll compare. Here we go. All right, let's see. Let's see your answers. And I'll give you some feedback. All right. Kawalji says, well, the internet has facilitated the present generation. So sticking with the internet, okay, that's good. That's a possible answer. Well, internet has facilitated the present generation to grow more, and this has changed our ways to do business as well. Good, Kawal. You want to continue there and explain how it has changed the ways that we do business. Pranya Manchala says, it has a huge impact in the past generation as growth in business is gradually increasing. Copy of that business is established simultaneously. So it's, okay, Pranya, I think you're doing a lot of translating there. And although you're using some good vocabulary, it's very difficult to understand what you're actually trying to say. Farheen Begum says, that's an interesting question. Clever, Farheen. Yeah, it's a good one to buy time for. So Farheen Begum says, that's an interesting question. Earlier, people spent valuable time selecting products, but now everybody's getting a lot of knowledge through technology of what they want to own. This is good, so they can purchase their products much more quickly and effectively. It's a great answer, Farheen. It's a good one to give example for as well, Farheen. So you could say, for instance, I was looking for a new laptop and I was able to research a lot of information in just 30 minutes and pick out a great product, ordered online, and it arrived to my house in 2 days. So Farheen, it's a great answer. Include an example for it because it's good for that one. Okay. Mohammed Al-Rajdan says, it has surely changed a lot. Present perfect, Mohammed, not past. It has surely changed a lot as there have been a lot of technological improvements and a lot of new gadgets have been created. Don't use the word things, Mohammed. I believe it's good because it's made us see new innovations and new ideas that help us live more comfortable lives. Okay? So, Mohammed, don't use the word things. Okay? All right. Now, for mine, I give a bad example, and good, you're paying attention to the second part of the question. Is this good or bad? This is definitely a negative in my case. All right, so positive is good, negative is okay. It doesn't matter as long as you answer the full question. Thank you for reminding me about that, students. Here we go. Repeat after me. So, how have business practices changed compared to a generation before? Is this good or bad? Very nice that a lot of you realized, okay, I got to use the grammar of the question. Have changed. Present perfect, got to use present perfect. And then here we go. Well, that's another interesting question. I'll need a sec. Okay, I suppose that during my parents' time, there may have been more emphasis on quality of service and product. Conversely, these days, businesses or businessmen are focused mostly on turning a profit. For example, I bought some new running shoes the other day because the ad promised quality, but they fell off my feet after one run. This is definitely a negative, okay? A little bit of a correction here. Take out that may. All right. Good job, students. Good job. We're moving along nicely, and I can see that many of you are realizing what you need to do now to get those band 7s and higher, so 7, 8, 9. That's what we're shooting for here. We're shooting for the stars. So if you're doing a good job in your IELTS speaking, you should be at this point by around 8 minutes. Okay, so you'll have a couple more minutes. You'll be at 8 or 9 minutes at this point. You'll have a couple more minutes, and there's a good chance that if you've answered well and you've got some good fluency, the examiner will say, all right, let's talk about or let's discuss work and careers. So work and careers, okay? So talk about jobs. You're still on the topic of part 2, which is businesses. Work and careers are connected to that. So here we go. Yeah, Baljeet, absolutely. Okay, to answer your question, yes. If you give the answer on the basis of the internet, it could totally go on the positive side. It's your choice. Here we go. Ladies and gents, repeat after me and give me your answers. Many people have 3 or more careers in their lifetimes. Why is this common? So many people have 3 or more careers in their lifetimes. Why is this common? Okay, give me some nice answers. Again, remember those strategies. Try to surprise me. Include a correlative conjunction. I will give an imaginary gold star to the students who include those correlative conjunctions. In fact, you know what? I will create a custom emoji for this channel for a special gold star that I will give for students for correlative conjunctions in the future. So that's what I'm going to do. All right? Baljeet, great answer. You just need to put that into a full sentence. Okay? Here we go. I'm going to give my own answer. Full sentences, students, and then we'll talk about what you're doing well, what you're doing in a way that can be improved. All right. All right. So let's see what answers you have. Juan Pablo says, many people decide to get several skills as much as possible because nowadays if someone wants to, let's see, there are a lot of possible answers for this one. So Juan Pablo says, if someone wants to get a job, there are many people for it. So if they want an advantage over others, one way to do this is by being more qualified. Juan Pablo, I think you're off topic. You're not really answering why people have many different careers. I think you have the right idea that there's a lot of competition, so people lose their jobs and have to find other careers, but it's not clear from your answer. Careful not to confuse yourself and get lost because you will lose marks if you are not coherent, meaning that you're not answering the actual question you're being asked. Students, there are more than one way to be incoherent, so to lose your coherency marks, okay? Your coherency marks, you can lose them by using bad English, so the examiner doesn't understand the words that you're using or the grammar, or if you're speaking off topic. So even if you have good grammar and good use of vocabulary, but you're actually answering a different question, you will lose marks as well, okay? So you really need to pay attention to that. All right, let's see some other answers. Muhammadan Mahmudian says, although there are a large number of workless people, it's unemployed people. Although there are a large number of unemployed people, there are many people who work hard and try to achieve their goals in life. Thus, this may be due to their living situation. Muhammadan, again, you're off topic. Pranay says, it's a really interesting question. Give me a moment to think. Good, Pranay. You might want to buy some time here. Many people have different careers to earn more money by shifting to another job. Pranay, you're on a good start. All right, so keep going with that. All right, let's see. Farheen says, in present scenario, the cost of living is getting so high that people need to switch from one job to another to keep up with the increasing expenses of life or with inflation. It's a good start, Farheen. You're going to have to finish that. All right. Muhammad Al-Rashdan says, these days, food and services are much more expensive than they were in the past. So working multiple jobs to make more money at the same time takes a lot of hard work, but is necessary. Okay, I have a feeling some students are having trouble understanding this question. Okay. Ancilla says, I think it's mainly because there's satisfaction in one career. People change careers expecting that one would solve their economical problems and make them rich. Okay, Ancilla, good idea. Just be careful with your connections. All right. Mohammed Wahab says, most individuals nowadays are switching between different professions. The reason for this is to earn money in a short time, and the other reason is to derive job satisfaction. Beautiful wording, Mohammed. You've really come a long way. I'm surprised that your score was 7.5 and not 8.5. I bet that a little bit more and you can get an even higher score in your speaking exam. Not to say that 7.5 is not great, Mohammed. That means you are a very good user of the English language. Okay, girls and guys, here we go. Repeat after me. Many people have 3 or more careers in their lifetimes. Why is this common? Both money and achievement are reasons that people switch jobs several times during their working years. For instance, my dad started out as an electrical engineer and then he built his own business. After that, he sold his business and went into consulting. He did this to make more money and because he liked maximizing his knowledge for the betterment of society. Okay, ladies and gents, remember what I said. Use those correlative conjunctions. I didn't really see them, the both and, okay? All right, so here are 2 more questions for part 3. What is needed for a person to have a successful career? And what is the best ways to achieve these? Last question. If a person wants to change careers, what is good advice to make this transition go smoothly? Okay, so 2 more questions. I'm going to leave this for you for homework, and you can record your answer on your cell phone and send it to me by email, and I'll give you a score estimate, let you know how you did. Members, definitely do this, please. You can send it to adrian@aehelp.com. If you missed those questions, don't worry, it will be up on the channel. You will see them in this video once it's on the channel page. Again, just a quick reminder to a lot of students, some new students who might be joining in, we have a special discount going on this week for our premium courses. 40% discount code Black Friday, BLKFDAY. So enter that into the coupon field on our website, BLKFDAY, and you will get a 40% discount. It is the best discount that we give all year. So you can apply those on our websites. For academic IELTS, aehelp.com. For general IELTS, gieltshelp.com. All of you did a wonderful job. Some brilliant answers. Keep it up. You have beautiful minds. You can all learn at least 1 or 2 languages to perfection in your lifetime, so don't give up. Don't let people tell you otherwise. Don't discourage yourself. Yes, you are improving, even if you think you're not. I know you are, okay? So keep up the good work. I look forward to those homework assignments and to helping you succeed on your IELTS exam. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching today. Tomorrow, same time, reading section, example, and strategies coming out of our course. Bye for now. Namaste. Much love to all of you.